Come on and slam, and welcome to this overly thought out video. Despite how odd and silly it was, Space Jam has wormed its way into being a pop culture mainstay. Whether through sincerity or irony, everybody just kinda gets Space Jam. And I can guarantee that my quick reciting of the hook to the Quad City DJ song instantly made it pop into your head. And for that, I am sorry. On face value though, this has to be one of the most cynical, commercial-driven movies ever. Literally, this movie was inspired by a series of Nike commercials starring Michael Jordan and Bugs Bunny. American excess. The ability to turn commercials into 90-minute long films. But it makes sense that this film would still be so remembered to this day. Two powerhouse brands combining to make an almost fever dream-like film. It starts with Jordan talking with his father, with him explaining how he wants to play basketball. We then jump forward in time to after Jordan has played the basketball, saying he wishes to now play the baseball. He is okay at it. But then an alien theme park owner laments that his attractions aren't getting the same kind of reaction they once did. Racking his brain for a solution, him and his minions, no, not those minions, come across some old Looney Tunes shorts. The idea sparks. Bring the Looney Tunes here to entertain the guests. The alien minions, no, not those minions, come down to the underground interdimensional portal hidden beneath a Piggly Wiggly where the town that the Looney Tunes live in is in. After a brief confrontation with Bugs Bunny, the aliens show that they have some real firepower. Bugs then calls for a Looney Tune meeting where they discuss ways to deal with the threat. They realize that due to the stature that they would be poor at a competition of sport, so they trick the aliens to agree to a basketball game. Tunes lose, they go to the theme park. But freaky alien genotypes have a devious trick of their own. Somehow, with very little explanation, they can suck out the talent of others. So with some cameos from other cast members of the NBA, the aliens steal the talents of some of the fan favorite characters. They are now the hashtag Monstars copyright trademark patent pending. The Toons, realizing that they are fucked, decide to recruit a world-famous basketeer to help out their endeavor. Larry Bird? No. It's Michael Jordan. I already talked about him. After some brief back and forth saying he doesn't play basketball anymore, he is inevitably convinced, and thus, shenanigans. Including a quick trip to the real world for some equipment, some quick training, and the introduction to what is probably the catalyst to many a furry. It's time for the big game, and they royally ass-fucked. In the halftime, Jordan and Bugs devise a placebo to get the Toons in fighting shape. But that still might not be enough. After Lola gets injured, all seems lost, but then Bill Murray shows up to help. Michael Jordan learns the meaning of being a Looney Tune. I think. They win the day, Lola gets the guy, Jordan starts playing basketball again, and this is the canon reason why he came back in the 1995 season. So yeah, hella commercial fluff. But every piece of art has something to say, something at its core, a meaning for us to learn from. Yes, even Space Jam. In this series, I look at stories that could be considered an Isekai, and by looking at them, I hope to show how alternate worlds can be used as a metaphorical device. Oftentimes, this is done in contrast. Space Jam, however, doesn't really contrast things. Heck, whatever little plot there is, often and rightfully so, takes a back seat to the jokes on display. Most of the film features Michael Jordan futzing about in the Toon dimension, or has Bugs and Daffy come to the real world to fuck shit up. The aliens are just there to try and take the Looney Tunes, and eventually Jordan, to their theme park to make them attractions against their will, totally invalidating their free will to just make them commodities to be sold. Wait a sec. Am I really going to continue to make a video describing the Space Jam movie as a slight commentary on the commodification of self, hobbies, and interests in our modern world? Do you like podcasts talking about things? Check out Analytical Fanboys. Links in the description and the card right above. Michael Jordan is one of, if not the most well-known athletes ever in our time. Hell, all time. And that's with him being retired for years at this point. Imagine him in his heyday. Stop. You don't have to. He was such a bankable brand that they could have made a movie with him starring Bugs Bunny, and the executives knew it would print them all the money they would want. Hell, he's even close to reaching my top 5 athletes list. Right now, Jordan is more brand than man, with his name as a very popular shoe brand and being the face of several products. And it was in the 90s that this really started going. Like I said earlier, this movie was inspired by a set of Nike commercials, and Jordan had already been a part of a Gatorade campaign. It could be said that his life revolves around marketing himself as a person and not just being one. And the Looney Tunes cast is pure marketing. Even their older shorts, which at this point were no longer really being made, were created to keep people in theaters. That while they are American icons, like many American icons, they were there to sell you shit. The tunes were more valuable as a license to put them on products, like lunchboxes, stationery, and toys. A point that Bugs and Daffy even lampshade in the movie, asking where their cut of the profits were. There is none. They will never see it. The workers will never see the full profits of their work. So taking a step back and looking at this as a whole, both in real life as well as in the movie, these people are just expected to sell stuff. When the Toons have an emergency mini, they interrupt an old cartoon as if reenacting them is their job. In fact, I'm reminded of an issue of Animal Man, where a wily coyote analog becomes Cartoon Jesus, because he can't stand the continued violence that his fellow Toon must go through on a daily basis. Really good comic. Damn good issue. Grant Morrison is top notch. Meanwhile, Michael Jordan is repeatedly questioned about his decision to play baseball. He is expected to play basketball as if that's all he should do. Heckle, the Looney Tunes even expect it of him. That's all static though, till the aliens come to the scene. By making the metaphorical real, the aliens will just manifest what the Toons and Jordan feel already. Alienation. Literally, by making them aliens in a far-off world, removing their agents and turning them into no more than Disney animatronics. But the monsters are victims in this as well, as they are just minions to the cast-off evil of Danny DeVito. Also, in stealing the talent of several other players, it shows how society wraps so much commodity into a person. As soon as the other players no longer have their skills, in a way, they're no longer seen as valuable, that they are broken. Well, in a way they were, I mean they do get their talents back. So in a way, this story is two isekai in one. On one hand, you have Michael's grand adventure into Looney Land, and the other, the aliens coming and putting the commodification of self on stark display for our main cast. The Toons, due to their multidimensional selves, already know how much they are products. Daffy even jokes about just being property of WB, to an extent that they play with it, laugh it off, and even embrace it. But from this movie and other aspects of the live-action Looney Tunes canon, it seems that they take more agency over it by treating everything like a joke, and that they are needed as stars and actors. They exert their control by recognizing their unique skills and how only they really have them. Michael, on the other hand, has a harder time of it. At first he claims full agency over himself, as he claims he is no longer a basketball player, connecting a simple skill set to a job exclusively. Jordan goes into baseball, languish, but it was still his choice to make. When the Toons ask for his help, he takes back his ability to manhandle an orange sphere. It's not Nike's, not the NBA's, but his and his alone. They can and will try to commodify him, but at the end of the day, he is in control of his abilities. The Toons show Michael that he is an important part of the equation. In the last second of the game, Bugs reminds him that, while at least in Looney Tunes' pocket dimension, that he has control over himself. So he in turn uses the logic of the world and stretches his arm. People everywhere will try to turn you into a product, and oftentimes they will succeed. You will think aspects of yourself must be bought and sold. Your skills, your hobbies, even you as a concept. Michael goes back to playing basketball. Sure, he won't be doing something he had hoped he could do with playing baseball, but he is in control. They are all his talents and his choice. He's doing this not because he's forced to, but because he's good and found his love for the game again.